Western New York, and with spring arriving, even though it doesn't always feel like it, Western New Yorkers are getting outside again and rediscovering some of the great natural attractions of the area.
Yeah, and probably tops on that list is the Niagara Gorge, which now features new trails to offer new views of our wonder of the world. But what I found on a recent visit is that the investment in the state park has actually reconnected Niagara Falls with Niagara Falls.
So many places to go. What's this one?
Oh, this one's cool.
This one may be even more scenic.
Angela Birdie from New York State Parks and I hit the new hiking trails along the gorge. It's not your grandfather's Niagara Falls State Park anymore.
It is not, Peter, and we are standing on the newest part of Niagara Falls State Park, the new expansion of Niagara Falls State Park, the largest expansion of Niagara Falls State Park ever. This is called Gorge View. Folks may remember it as the Robert Moses Parkway. New York State Parks, New York State invested millions and millions of dollars to pull 6 lanes of asphalt essentially off the gorge rim and turn it into multi-use trails, which are great. You know, walking, biking, rollerblading, all of those things people love to do.
Just look at these views. As Angela mentioned, this is the largest expansion since the park opened in 1885, made possible by the removal of this, a 2-mile stretch of the former Robert Moses Parkway.
You know, as locals in Western New York, a lot of times we save Niagara Falls State Park and the Cave of the Winds and the Maid of the Mist for like when Aunt Sally comes from Omaha, you know. But I first would encourage locals to come and enjoy those attractions this summer. You know, they're great. The park looks great. The park's been updated too over the last 5-8 years, and everyone should check it out. But really, like you said, the trails that run along the river are remarkable. People love them.
Now, we talk a lot about tourists when we talk about Niagara Falls, but a lot of the point of removing the parkway was to connect Niagara Falls with Niagara Falls.
Correct.
And also, you mentioned the Whirlpool Bridge, the Underground Railroad Museum up there. How has that really worked in connecting the community with the park?
That's huge, right? I believe now that we've done this project, every street connects to the waterfront. You know, every street that runs towards the water now has an actual connection to the waterfront. You know, in Buffalo, we know how important our waterfronts are, and here in Niagara Falls now, the community has that same ability to access their waterfront, which is world class, you know.
Yeah, and that's important because the Niagara Falls community has felt disenfranchised. A lot of sectors in the Niagara Falls, very similar to Buffalo, and left behind, but this kind of opens everything up and you know, opens rolls out the welcome mat.
Yeah, it does, and it allows tourists to enjoy what we have here in Niagara Falls, and really more importantly, the community to access their waterfront and get to the nature that they have right in their backyard.
Yeah, and the great thing of those newer trails, they have more accessible, less challenging staircases than you find at Devil's Hole and Whirlpool. So they open those sites up and the sites of the gorge to a whole new population. And by the way, if you're wondering about the other trails, yeah, the steps down to Whirlpool and Devil's Hole, those are finished too.